Whoa, pregnancy improves my quirk.
What? How? Why? Because you're rounder, so you're closer to becoming a balloon? I don't get it. Someone please explain this to me.
Nobody? Girls' stomachs in H anime?
To be fair, it technically does happen in real life. It's just H anime over exaggerates it so it looks like a can of biscuits being shoved into a balloon.
Nobody is born cool. Except, of course, H artists who draw the parodies with the same proportions as the originals. Man who thought he'd lost all hope in humanity lose his last additional bit of hope he didn't even know he still had. So, I heard they've been calling you Marlboro Makima. Never call me that again, Timu Higuruma.
I mean, Marlboro Makima does treat Timu Higuruma kind of like a dog. Old habits never change. I'm so jealous. Also, the sauce is smoking behind the supermarket with you. You're welcome.
When someone catches you talking to yourself, and you just stare at them like nothing happened.
See, the key is to make things even more awkward by asking the eavesdropper who was right, me or the other me. Bonus points if you do it in a third voice.
How fast weekly shonen manga fandoms become clinically insane the second the author announces a break week.
Happens to the One Piece fandom at least once a month, and they be coming up with the wildest theories when this happens. Guys, hear me out. I think Imu is Luffy's mom. I get that Imu is now confirmed a guy, but hear me out. In the past, he had a run-in with Ivankov. Also, Fujitora is going to use his gravity to pull the moon down to Earth and reintroduce Enel into the final war.
When I accidentally click on a live with 2 viewers and the guy starts thanking me for joining his live. Bye everyone, see you tomorrow. Wait, how do I have 1 viewer? I really like your stream, daughter.
I like how the meme says viewers, plural, even though it's one. Very optimistic. But I swear, in reality, that one viewer usually has the wildest username. It'd be like, thank you, Balls Deep Gaming. I appreciate you, joining my stream. Oh look, we got another viewer too now. Thank you so much. Hey, shout out to, eating Mike Tyson's cake. But honestly, I think it's far worse being that one viewer that accidentally clicked. Because now that you accidentally joined, they are now filled with hope and a bright light in their eyes. And if you leave, they are going to have their dreams crushed and they are probably going to cry themselves to sleep. The only way I can think to get around it is to just say thank you that you enjoyed their stream and that you will join again some other stream. Probably won't work due to the fact you only enjoyed their stream for about 12 seconds, but hey, worth a shot.
Season 3? Season 4? Where did they go?
My headcanon is that sometime in between Season 3 and Season 4, Subaru had a fluke death, and his return by death accidentally put him in some weird timeline where Amelia's chest never developed. Or half the budget went to Shula.
My body belongs to me! Oops, I mean it belongs to my master!
The real answer is that Season 3 is for chess men and Season 4 is for thigh men.
She'll take your breath away faster than the secondhand smoke.
In reality, girls that smoke look cool in anime, but in real life, it's pretty awful. The smoke smell seeps into everything, not even just your clothes. It seeps into the girl's skin too, so even if they shower, you can still smell it. And depending on her stress levels, if she's really stressed out, she'll go through a whole pack in one day. And it's not just the smell, the tar from the cigarettes also seeps into everything, so anything around starts to get like this kind of yellowish tint. It's kind of gross. This is a great example of that saying where it's like, she's a 10 out of 10, but she smokes, so she's a 3 out of 10.
Anime watching now ranks as a major turnoff for women. Buddy, we weebs are doomed to be single.
I'm confused. Hasn't it always been that way? I mean, yes, anime has gotten a lot more popular now with men. I mean, there are girl weebs too, but at the end of the day, like, your average woman just thinks you're a dork that watches cartoons. So I guess the moral of the story is, just go to an anime convention and find a woman that likes anime. I want to say that the statistics of this meme are made up, but there definitely is a subgenre of weeb where their hygiene definitely makes this meme true. And that's okay, because as a weeb, we gotta have the standard that if a woman doesn't support our hobby, we dodged a bullet. And if you can't find a woman that supports your anime hobbies, well, there's a simple solution.
The state I catch bro in 2 days after we got isekai'd.
Subaru out here speed running parenthood.
I'm not that bad. I won't touch a kid nor the elderly. So men are okay. Manga, anime.
And don't worry, I got you. The sauce is smoking behind the supermarket with you.
Domino's or Subway?
Get a large extra sausage and pepperoni pizza, and a foot-long meatball sub, wrap the pizza around the sub, and take the whole thing at once. Also, I'm 100% positive that Wendy is sitting in the corner with a camera.
When you feel guilty for not studying, but still are not studying.
Okay, I feel guilty for buying an entire pack of Oreos and not sharing it with my family. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it.
Himmel and I went looking for a lost cat. You were just completing a job. I'm not sure you can call that a date. When two close friends of opposing sex go out with each other and nobody else, that's a date. Himmel in the afterlife. That was a date?
You know, I'm pretty sure that she herself didn't realize that until after Himmel was already dead.
She can't possibly get any cuter.
That's kawaii and all, but quick question though, how do elves that have the pointy ears like that lay down on their sides? Because you know that shit gotta be uncomfortable.
When your mom no longer books your doctor's appointments, so you have to just ignore the symptoms and hope you don't die.
Legitimately, as an adult, the only time I have gone to the doctor is to get a doctor's note for work, which I still somehow got in trouble and got a point for at work, which is kind of bullshit.
Grand Theft Auto 6 has been delayed to February 14th, 2027. She's been crying for 3 full days and nights.
At this point, I don't know whether this is actually true or if this is misinformation, but knowing Rockstar, this would not surprise me because they're about as good at predicting the release date for this game as Oda is predicting the ending of One Piece.
99% of mages give up before finding a chest that isn't a mimic.
You know, I just can't buy this image because we all know that if there's even a 1% chance that that chest contains a spell that magically peels potatoes, she's just 100% swan diving in.
Similar crying faces.
Is it bad that this just makes me want to call her a useless mage?
Did you know Gojo Satoru can't handle liquor? Who's Gojo Satoru?
Yuji has about 3 brain cells, and all 3 of them are simultaneously black flashing themselves to an image of Jennifer Lawrence.
Fighting the final boss? Final boss when unlocked as a playable character.
Hey, I don't know about y'all, but I would not want to go up against low quality Freyrin because 1, that shit is terrifying, and 2, I'm pretty sure she could stab you with her chin.
Other video game companies? Sorry sir, but we couldn't get back your hacked account or locate the hacker. Steam. Hello, Jibby018. The hacker that very recently hijacked your account has been neutralized by the firing squad. Cheers, Jared.
You know, as someone who doesn't really play video games that much and has never really been on Steam, am I the only one that's curious what that video recording is? Like, I really want to know what's on it, but I'm also concerned that if I were to click it, FBI is going to show up at my door.
2006? 2008? 2008? 2013? 2018, 2020, 2022, 2022, 2025, 2026.
Bro, you left out the most important one.
You just called me a grandma. That's your second offense. Meanwhile, a random elevator signage in Taiwan.
Okay, calling her grandma is not what I'm worried about right now. What I want to know is, who is that baby? And even more importantly, whose baby is it? Because apparently Freyrin's out here grave robbing Himmel's DNA with some ancient Viagra magic.
Me eating the food I've ordered? My girlfriend who didn't want anything.
Fellas, don't fall for this trap. You need to buy your girlfriend something. It doesn't matter if she says she's hungry or not because there are going to be 2 scenarios. Either 1, you are going to end up with having 3 bites left of your food and she will be happy. Or B, you tell her no and then she's going to have an attitude, bring up something that happened 68 weeks ago and now you're sleeping on the couch.
When you want a match against bro, but his girlfriend hugs him and says, "It's okay, babe. I love you anyways."
I've won, but at what cost?
You see, Fern, when you see YouTubers moving to countries such as Switzerland or Luxembourg. That's called tax evasion.
This is why half the drivers in Formula One live in Monaco.
One Piece after a fight? MHA after a fight? JJK, AOT, and Demon Slayer after a fight.
Hey, you forgot Dragon Ball after a fight.
Mom, I found your old Barbie. Can I have it? Of course, dear. It's all yours. Dad, I found it in your room. Put it back.
See, this is what you call clickbait, because having anime figures in your room guarantees you don't ever have to worry about having kids.
Attempts to jump. Launches herself. Nobody saved her midair. Broke her leg.
Elves are actually just cats, confirmed.
Rumor says that there's a legendary grimoire guarded by a poisonous plant monster hidden inside that dungeon. Grimoire? Poisonous? Monster?
They are known as the Big Three of autism.
Please do not take your pills. I disappear.
Huh. My girlfriend says that to me every night.
Impressive magic? Don't care. I can see the future. Huh, that's impressive. Mundane magic? Lock in. What kind of spell is it? A spell to turn a red apple into a green apple.
Okay, first of all, changing an apple's breed is not mundane. You have to have some insane matter manipulation on a cellular level. Not to mention, green apples are the best apples, so come on now, that's just delicious.
Was standing under this weird wheel, and suddenly the cold isn't bothering me anymore.
Bro adapted. But I got two very important questions. One, if you spin along with the wheel, do you adapt faster? And two, can I borrow that thing, because I live in Michigan and it's cold as hell around here.
People that use baka, neko, and nani in normal sentences? Actual weebs.
See, there is a difference between a weeb and a guy that Naruto runs around his mom's house at 4 a.m. trying to bite his thumb because he wants to keep moving forward.
Freyrin when she cries. Also Freyrin when she cries.
Okay, first of all, you had two flapping chances to spell it correctly. Two! Sires? Sirs? Seers? I can't tell if this is supposed to be engagement bait or some sort of ancient Mesopotamian city. Fell to an old hag crying.
Himmel. I'd love her.
Byakugan has its uses.
Byakugan.
Just get married in the future.
With others? You get this nice smell after it rains. Sorry, I don't know what you mean. With him? This smell you get after the rain. I love that. I love it too.
I am a pirate.
She? You have Crunchyroll, right? Me? No. She? Then how do you watch anime? Me? I'm a pirate. Eden, your mom fat, lol. Call his mom a titan. It will make sense soon.
This has got to be one of the best ways to use time travel powers. No more losing an argument and sitting in the shower contemplating what you could have said. Just walk straight up to Connie and say, "Yo mama's so fat even Eden couldn't move her forward." Yeah, annoying when it happens.
That one kid starts crying. The other kids around.
Boruto has such a punchable face. How age affects our tastes.
Teenage me finding women in business suits hot. Adult me being put off by them reminds me too much of being sent to HR.
RAGF.
What anime is this? Rent a girlfriend. Is that an insult or name of the anime?
Both.
Freyrin has 100% evil demons? But other anime told me for years that they're misunderstood and they have cute girls.
Listen, just because one anime says it doesn't mean that all anime abide by that rule. Dragon Ball Z has Android 18. That don't mean I'm gonna pull my phone out and have a baby with it.
Eastern media fan service? Western media fan service.
You know, I know this is a joke, but I'm actually kind of surprised that a dinosaur hasn't shown up in Fast and the Furious.
20-year-old me trying to convince a 100-year-old elf that age is just a number.
Listen, I understand that you were literally 80 years old when I was born, and you were literally 30 years old when my grandma was born. But hey, that don't change the fact that I am young, dumb, and full of vigor, and I'm trying to discover whether the old saying, the wrinklier the raisin, the sweeter the fruit, actually applies.
Daily life, going to sleep, first date, getting married.
Hey, cut the man some slack. He just likes to travel light. Really light. He's broke.
The masculine urge to be kissed like this.
Bro, if a girl kisses you like this, it means one of two things. Either A, she's a really dominant woman and wants to bounce on your Kamehameha and then leave you in the dust. Or B, she is madly in love with you, in which case you should definitely marry that woman, probably start a family, and don't ever name any of your kids Boruto.
Girls, 7 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m., 10 p.m. Boys, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026.
Hey, listen, bro, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As long as the outfit is clean and doesn't smell like dirty gym socks soaked in vinegar, then let the man be. Maybe he's got 800 pairs of the same outfit, like Goku.
When you promise your girl the whole world, but then your card declines at Taco Bell.
Yeah, not gonna lie, ladies, if that happens, it's time to move on. Now, guys, I'm not saying that you need to be rich to give a woman the world, you know, it's usually just time and affection and things like that. But if you can't afford a beefy 5-layer burrito, you got bigger problems to solve. If your mans can't afford a Baja Blast and some Fiesta potatoes, then homie needs to be ordering a job application.
I resurrected my mom with the power of the Dragon Balls. Well, we resurrected our mother with the power of alchemy. Kinda. Amateurs. What was that, punk? Amateurs! Where's Aqua? He's still out, Mom.
What in the Sweet Home Alabama, May May, Uri Uri is this? Also, I know this is supposed to be a joke, but as a Dragon Ball fan, Goku never revived his mom. She's deader than Yamcha's dating life.
Going for the battle? Going for my first date.
Okay, see, this is okay though, because let's be honest, guys, a date is a battle. A very psychological battle, and at least homie changed his pants.
Going to be the first person in my bloodline to pass down gaming accounts to my kids instead of properties.
You know, it's funny because, legally speaking, you can't.
One Piece fans with 1,155 episodes? Hear me out. No. Just watch Season 1! No!
You know, as an anime fan, and as actually a One Piece fan, I understand the sentiment. Because you could literally get a PhD, learn 3 languages, and travel the world within the time it takes to watch One Piece.
Aura farming and solo leveling? Aura farming in Frieren Beyond Journey's End.
And I only have one thing to say about this. Aura, kill yourself.
Shout out to the Weather Lady from MHA for being the hottest background character.
I'm pretty sure that's just Mirko's American cousin, Americo. Nah, but in all seriousness, the character's name is actually Meryl Hope. You're welcome.
Seeing it from a manga versus comic perspective.
First of all, I'm pretty positive that's just Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil. And secondly, that's an interesting shape in the background.
Frieren Braid when Fern in bad mood. Frieren Braid when Fern in good mood.
Meanwhile,
Nostalgia be like 2016, 2026.
well, there's a simple answer to this, and that is because life is a constant downhill trend. You peak when you were born. As a baby, you have 0 responsibilities. Then, as a kid, it goes slightly downhill when you start having to go do things like school. And then by the time you're an adult, you're just praying for the fact that you hope your next meal isn't another packet of top ramen for the 18th time while you sit there reminiscing about the good old days of playing Halo 3.
When you wake up in the morning and it hurts to swallow.
See, this just means one of 2 things. Either A, your throat's just dry and you need to drink some water, or B, it's the beginning of strep throat and it's going to feel like you're deep-throating a railroad spike for the next week.
That random chest pain that makes you question if it's your time.
As a 31-year-old man, this hits close to home, because whenever it happens to me, I start questioning, maybe drinking an entire pot of coffee wasn't the best idea. But I actually just learned that sudden chest pain is actually just a sign of dehydration, and if you just drink some water, it should go away.
I'm lost. Can you please help me find my papa, Mr. Superhero? I'd be glad to help. Just please, don't try to read my mind, okay? How did he... That was a technique I learned from some Tibetan monks. Pretty cool, isn't it?
And I just read a comment about this that actually makes a lot of sense. The comment said, I imagine Batman can't actually know whether people read minds or not unless they're super obvious about it. So anytime he meets a new person, he just in his mind says, stop reading my mind. And then basically just tries to see whether or not they react to it. And if they do, it confirms to him they read minds.
Found a job that pays like $100K a year working from home. All I have to do is live entirely in the Eastern and Central time zones for the first half of the day, and then entirely in the Pacific time zone for the
What?
See, this sounds great and all until your sleep becomes a full-time side quest.
It's impossible for a woman to have a body like that. Oh.
Netflix, I am no longer asking, make it happen.
Shout out to adult women with high intelligence. Gotta be one of my favorite genders.
I mean, absolutely. As they always say, with age comes experience. And of course, the wrinklier the raisin, the sweeter the fruit.
So, if I'm making out with a male robot, but it's being piloted remotely by a woman, is that gay?
Based on my logic, yes. Hear me out. So, essentially, think of it this way. If you're with a partner, right, and they decide to use an extracurricular Bible study object, it doesn't matter what the Bible study object is, it matters who's using the extracurricular object.
Freyren Special.
See, this is what we call in the fighting game community a TOD. Stark is a simple man.
Great Mage Flamme era, Humans era, Casual, Winter, Bedtime, Casual, Winter 1.0, Winter 2.0, Bedtime, First Date, Casual, Winter, Bedtime, First Date.
Okay, first of all, Stark bedtime is wrong. He takes his jacket off. Secondly, to be fair though, it was probably a rental that he had to return the next day. And no, I'm not talking about Fern. Double use. Chat, is this true or not?
Me enjoying anime in 2026. Catastrophic alien disclosure on the 7th of July 2026.
Way too based.
Why are there so many bath scenes in this Yuri show? Teren Mikami-sensei, author of Watanabe. Because normal people take baths every day?
Step 1, get a girlfriend.
Bro, what are you doing if your girls start making more money than you?
Me when my manager is roasting me on office team lunch.
When you're getting roasted and you hold back that one joke that will destroy a person's will to live.
Sometimes there are just days when...
POV, you are slowly losing interest in everything.
Why does this happen in every single video game?
The boss when you fight him, the boss when you unlock him as a playable character.
Bro got zero riz, unlike Himmel.
Since we were in a city, let's check out some other places too. No, Stark, don't go, you idiot! Buy her that necklace, Stark!
I watched this scene with my wife and did not realize Stark's mistake until the second couple came in. And then I got attacked because my wife essentially said that I would have done the same thing. But to be fair, Stark was going to buy the necklace, but then quickly realized Fern was probably going to get super mad about wasting money unnecessarily. And we all know how much Stark wants to avoid making Fern angry. Bro didn't hesitate.
Himmel cosplayer put out a fire at a shopping mall. It's what Himmel the hero would have done.
Himmel inspiring men to do good things. First the stabbing incident at the Taiwan train station, and now this. The new Akira slide for couples.
2022, Cyberpunk. 2023, Spider-Man. 2024, Arcane. 2025, Chainsaw Man.
We all have two sides, right?
Hee hee? Not hee hee.
Wizards are cool.
Anime girls with wizard hats are adorable.
Innocence, revenge, depression, acceptance, and change.
Bro, my looks didn't change at all. Bro's mental development.
Why Superman will always be the GOAT.
That's a nice uniform, young man.
Thanks. My mom made it. Why did I admit that? Could I sound more dorky? Oh god, I look like a dork in front of Superman.
My mom made my first suit too.
Look at this wholesome combination. I love wholesome Superman so much, I hate it when people make him grimdark.
What we saw? What Fern saw?
Maple Star is going to have a field day with this one.
CEOs posting videos of themselves eating their products? Cucumber Hub CEO?
Wait, is the CEO of Cucumber Hub a woman?
Hot take. DLSS 5 is fine as long as it's optional.
I think I'll need context for the right side of that picture. Okay, I dug through Google image search, and apparently it was from a cosplay event in Taiwan. And the Freyrin cosplayer's cosplay was made to melt when it comes in contact with water.
You're here for my breasts, aren't you? That's why I'm here.
Excuse me, I ordered thighs though.
I can't believe I'm streaking through town.
The amount of money I would pay in therapy to have even 1% of Ryuko's absolute unbothered energy, for real.
The end of an era.
People watch Boruto?
My mother was killed by a Titan when Wall Maria was destroyed. Oh my god. That's sad.
And the Oscar for Best Actor goes to...
Visiting H-Anime for the 6th time for 6 hours, 6 times a week. My cucumber.
I can't help myself.
Do you want to play with me?
Zoltrak incoming.
Me when I was 5. I bet I could take on 10 guys at once. Me now. I bet I could take on 10 guys at once.
Crazy how nothing has changed.
DLSS 5 off. DLSS 5 on.
So you're telling me that it had DLSS on and it still looked like dog feces? Bro, we're cooked.
Me finding new game releases. My backlog.
All my JRPGs staring at me like...
My sacred treasure.
Himmel the hero would have done that.
Why do we call girls chicks? Is it 'cause they produce eggs, or 'cause they love cock-a-doodle-doo?
Philosophy has gone too far.
You, an old man wanting headpats? Well, you're short, but you're just not cute at all. I'm sorry, Denkin. Stand proud, Denkin. At least you get to keep your hairline.
The heavy price of headpats.
Knowledge is knowing a cute, sweet, and pure friend can make a good partner. Wisdom is knowing a tall, strong, and responsible friend with Gap Moe perfection is a better match.
Clara is adorable, but Amiri is a better match.
Monster attacks? Don't get any funny ideas, you H-Anime addicted perv viewers.
Lady, that ship sailed the moment you got stuck inside a mimic.
Socially unacceptable? I'm getting hot, messy gym sessions every night, just literally filling my shaker cup with as much whey protein as I possibly can. Socially acceptable? I'm crying for a baby.
Azure Lane in a nutshell. Wow. I really shouldn't stick my dumbbell inside that gigantic warship. However...
Smells nice.
Zane be like, it should have been me, not her!
Peak.
Manga girl, here, have some fried chicken. Anime girl, this is made out of the flesh of your brothers and sisters, and it is damn delicious. And one day, you will also end up like this.
You call me your sister, but your body is honest. Sometimes I think perhaps I could be both your sister and your lover.
To be honest, at this point, I'm more surprised in anime when siblings aren't trying to spoon each other.
Why won't you die?
Masochism, son. I harden in response to physical trauma.
Wait, I'm confused. What's getting hard?
If you let people like me tie you down and exploit you forever.
I can fix him. He can ruin me.
I'm pretty sure it was the opposite. Akane was literally prepared to murder his dad for him.
Like teacher? Like student.
So close, but Eason is doing it on his pinky while Stark is only doing it on his hand.
Welcome to Roshidere. We have Tsundere Roshian, Mommy Roshian, Small Maid, Sweet Home Alabama.
Misha is the best love interest. We all know who will win though.
Different character, same vibe/energy.
There are definitely similarities, but Mao Mao shows much higher emotions.
Middle-aged people finding a mobile game that involves moving colorful blocks.
Define middle-aged.
Frieren shares the reason she accepts silly spells as reward. Himmel, why do you demand payment nearly every time we help someone? If they pay us, they don't owe us anything. We're the party of heroes. We do what we do in order to help people, not to be thanked. If we make them feel like they owe us, we wouldn't truly be helping them, would we? That's why I accept rewards, even if it's a silly spell like this.
Therefore, if Frieren were to ask for amazing spells, she would be the one owing someone for that spell. But instead, she asked for the silly ones. I show speed in the latest JoJo.
I never even imagined the day that someone told me they loved me. That'll be 363 yen.
For context, if you don't know, Crunchyroll has Season 1, Episode 1's subtitles on Season 2, Episode 1. And apparently it's present in all of the languages.
Me speaking English at an acceptable level? Perfect. Now no one will suspect I don't know the structure of the language, and I learned everything from TV and video games.
This is every weeb when they visit Japan.
File size zipped, 2GB homework folder. File size unzipped, 10GB homework folder.
Both scenarios are perfect, but for very different reasons.
I think we're forgetting about the real GOAT.
I would have to disagree. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, weren't they step-siblings, which means they're a tier below the rest of them?
JJK sequel is announced. JJK sequel is ending.
I'm starting to see a running theme with Gege's JJK mangas. They all have incredible potential, and then dive off a Maharaga-sized cliff at the end. But hey, at least Deborah is gonna make half-alien babies.
The big three? The biggest three.
See, this isn't even accurate because literally every woman in One Piece has the 106. And if we're just basing it off the biggest in the series, then I'm pretty sure that's either Shirahoshi or Big Mom.
I love Masha.
The first one is arguably more peak.
I'm sorry, but we can only offer a grimoire that lets you rewind VHS cassettes without damaging the tape. You mother flapper, we have a deal.
I can't help but feel like half the people that watch this video don't even know what a VHS is.
Use literally any other color to censor anime blood. Use white so that every bloody battle looks like the aftermath of a Gang H anime session.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure who saw this and thought, yes, thick white liquid is much more family friendly than red.
A helicopter flies by. Me at 8? Me at 30.
Yeah, because when I was 8, I looked up and saw, wow, that's so cool. While me at 30 looks up and thinks, I wonder if someone escaped prison.
Breaking news. SAO players find they can escape by saying discrimination words and getting auto-banned. Reports say the first person to escape this way was a player with the username Asuna, who discovered it by accident while yelling at a merchant.
Surprise, when you get auto-banned, it doesn't actually kick you out of the game, it just kills you anyway.
Only kings will get it.
Don't forget the huge black bar.
The cucumber cannot go past a certain point. H anime artists.
Next you're gonna tell me that men can't make gallons of, pancake batter.
Why do you smell so nice? I'm not supposed to.
There are two things I love very much. Anime bazongas and the smell of gasoline.
Men, after finding out what women's romance novels are actually like.
Yeah, women's books be like, he H-anime assaulted her, but it's okay. He was a billionaire, and also a vampire.
Senpai of the pool, what is your wisdom? If a website asks you to create an account to continue browsing, hit F12 and click on the dim area. This would select it, and then click Delete key, hit F12 again, and continue browsing.
That's nice and all, but unfortunately, many sites have gotten smarter, and this doesn't work a lot anymore. Womp womp.
I just had a horrible flashback to the pre-Spotify days when I used to download all my music with YouTube to MP3 converters and manually organize them into iTunes albums with album art I found on Google Images. Me, who still does this?
Well, I mean, I am a boomer, and I have an MP3 collection that I've been growing for 16 years. I'm not stopping now.
All men are kings. If he breathes, he's a simp. Ah!
The circle of life. Simp money creates thought. Thought delusional self-importance creates queens. Queens being toxic towards men creates kings. King feels great for a short period of time and then starts to get lonely, but has become too antisocial to women because of being hurt, so doesn't know how to talk to them. Does have a lot of money though, and resorts to using that money on OF, which creates simp.
Treating women like objects? Treating objects like women.
See, this can backfire massively though. Because what if one night you looted your toaster and it was a great night for you? Then the next morning you go into your kitchen and have all of those thoughts rushing back into your head, and now you're sitting at the breakfast table with a raging cucumber next to your dad who's eating some cornflakes.
The more complex a power system is, the funnier it becomes when someone pulls out a gun.
Hey, I mean, if it works, it works. Hell yeah, America.
YouTuber, today's sponsor is me.
Wait, you're telling me you don't want to play Raid Shadow Legends? Or get help with BetterHelp? Or protect yourself with NordVPN?
You can now enter the 6-digit HAnime code directly into the search bar. Basically, we're about to warp 1,998,700 years ahead in civilization.
The future is now. For anyone interested, the best one is 177013.
My sister? Look at this. He's got HAnime on his phone. My dad? It's just a bunch of numbers. What's the issue? My closet degenerate sister? Right, never mind.
I'm not sure whether I should be proud or disappointed.
Me in 2020? So, any plans for the weekend? Gonna stay inside by myself. Oh, because of the virus? The what?
Just another average day in the life of a weeb.
Go flap yourself. Flap me yourself, you coward. Eh?
He tried her tea, now she's gonna try his.
What girls think guys want? What guys really want?
Basically, I just want to be loved.
8-year-old me seeing the same actor in different movies? 20-year-old me hearing the same voice actor in different anime?
Yo, is that... Pauses the anime to immediately look it up on Google. Yo, it is!
Junji Ito's work? Junji Ito?
Every weeb online versus real life.
Me sees an NSFW post in public?
The caption for this meme was the fact that the OP had 19 HAnime posts saved at the moment, and every following comment was about how insultingly low that number was.
Merry flapping Christmas, my dad accidentally bought me a crate of HAnime because he thought it was anime. There are 55 flapping DVDs in this box. What a time to be alive.
Well, let's be honest, he knew.
Oh, humans discovered drawing. And you guys improved so fast. Okay, wait. God, what the flap? He was making cute doodles just a decade ago, I swear.
I think it's acceptable for them to draw it. Now, if he cuts a hole in the drawing, then we might have an issue.
Making a regular 02 meme? Spending a week figuring out how to 3D print one? Realizing that just because a meme is high effort doesn't make it funny.
Life is full of disappointments. This wasn't one of them.
Why are fantasy protagonists always such creepers? You wanna know? H is ecchi, which can stand for HAnime or perv. Iro stands for erotic, equals SE exclamation point, and provocative. H plus ero equals hero.
I could literally see this being the title of a new fantasy anime.
Look, Daddy, this post makes it look like we were in 2 separate posts. What?
Joke's on you, I use light mode.
girls who say SE exclamation point, girls who say intercontinental, girls who say baby making, girls who say flapping, girls who are confused.
See, this is wrong because both Kaguya and Hayasaka say SE exclamation point.
Good news and bad news. Good news is your wife gave birth to a healthy boy. What's the bad news? He's a shonen protagonist. I'm sorry? No, I'm sorry.
I think the mothers of the shonen protagonists are in greater danger.
When you're 16 and you don't do Colombian Bam Bam, don't drink, goes home early, maintains an average grade, and your mom calls you a failure.
I had a 3.8 GPA, and my mom would always tell me how she was disappointed that she didn't get to go watch me at sports games because I didn't play any sports and was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Instead.
Okay, we need new ways for our next anime protag to be sent to another world. He gets summoned. Reincarnated? Why must it be an isekai? Can't it just be a regular fantasy setting? I was thrown out of a window by my boss and landed in another world.
And I landed right on top of a cute anime girl and became overpowered.
Giga Chad Freyren smiles upon the movement she has started.
Freyren, beyond jawline mogging.
Kazuma, I did something.
What did you do?
Konosuba in a nutshell.
The 10 out of 10 I pulled by being funny? Me?
As long as there is delusion, there is hope.
Waifus must have colored hair to stand out.
Ah yes, my favorite anime girl with plain hair, SpongeBob.
Hi, what's your order? I'll have a Big Mac with a Sprite and a Happy Meal, please.
2 Big Macs, no Happy Meal.
Little did she know the Happy Meal was for himself.
Nobody is born cool. Except, of course, H artists who draw the parodies with the same proportions as the originals.
Or they draw the characters in the same style, and that makes the Happy Bam Bam time even better.
Japanese schools choose special swimsuits so that not too much skin is shown. Boys get a liking for it. Japanese schools. No, this isn't how you're supposed to play the game.
At this rate, diver suits are going to be the new swimsuits.
Otakus question heroine's armor with no lower region protection in an anime.
According to a lot of the comments I was reading, apparently this kind of armor is pretty common if you are riding bareback on a horse. Also, to be fair, that's already a lot more armor than most female characters wear in an anime.
January? This is going to be my year. Mid-April.
Surviving on caffeine and regret.
My brain 10 years ago. My brain right now.
Yeah, 8th grade me probably could have aced that. 31-year-old me barely remembers the multiplication tables. I remember there's something called the quadratic formula. No idea what it is, I just remember it exists.
1990, 1992, 1994, 1995, 1997, 2016, 2018, 2022, 2025.
Why does this man Vegeta always injure his left arm? Someone commented on this meme saying that he's right-handed, so he blocks a lot with his left hand and left side. So, you know, that, from a martial arts standpoint, makes a lot of sense. Well, except for the Android 18 one. She just straight up cracked that boy in half like a Kit Kat.
Babe, please stop. You don't need to find the source material for all the meme formats.
So the sauce is Magical Girl Site, chapter 103, page 11. And I personally haven't read this series, but I was reading into what this scene was about. And, yeah, I'm pretty sure if I tried explaining it, I would get banned on this platform.
Aw, that's so wholesome. No!
I legitimately can't decide whether this is kind of cute, clever, or disturbing, but either way, I'm calling the police regardless.
What people thought anime was 9 years ago? What anime actually was 9 years ago?
FYI, just to ruin your day, 9 years ago was 2017.
Anime fans, when a series doesn't have a scene of bazongas jiggling in their faces or plays SA as comedy. Witch Hat Atelier is a woke psyop.
Whenever I see YouTube videos titled like this, I know it's a good show. Also, as someone who has actually recently got into this show, the only quote-unquote political message that I've seen so far is, war is bad.
Everyone measure with meter. Americans.
I know damn well someone just licked their phone.
What Hathor expected Freyrin to do? What actually happened?
Honestly, I don't think Fern helps Freyrin because she's trying to be some, caregiver or parent to Freyrin. I honestly think it's more along the lines of the fact that Freyrin's perception of time obviously is horrendous, and so if she was trying to get ready, she would just take all day, and ain't nobody got time for that. Fern's just trying to prevent Freyrin from having her morning routine take 18 hours.
Guys, stop distorting the beautiful, relaxing anime with your lustful thoughts. You did not leave any character without intertwining it with a character who has no relationship between them. For example, Kana and Levine. They are like brothers. They are friends, and if one of you comes and says that they are LGBT, you must remember that they were in the Middle Ages, meaning that there was no such thing as homos at that time. At that time, humanity was natural, peaceful, and beautiful, and there was no such thing. Mental illnesses that plague teenagers these days.
What in Freyrin's left pinky toe did I just read? I don't even know where to begin to pick this apart. One, just because it's the Middle Ages does not mean gay people don't exist. That's not how that works. Two, nothing about Freyrin actually models the Middle Ages. Witches aren't being burned alive. Women are treated like normal people. Thirdly, Kane and Levine are women. Don't know how they would be brothers. I get what you're trying to get at, but they would be sisters. I don't know, man. I can't tell if this post was written by a 13-year-old just trying to troll and piss people off, or written by some 50-year-old that lives in his mother's basement that gets severely too little sunlight because the only time he goes outside is to get to his part-time job at Taco Bell.
Siblings in anime? Real siblings?
To be fair, real-life siblings are actually a mixture of both, but the ratio is definitely skewed more towards violence. You ain't siblings if you ain't fought over a bag of Cheetos.
I'm creating a country where all intelligent creatures can live together. Aw, you're sweet. I'm creating a country where all intelligent creatures can live together. Hello, human resources?
Double standards. Just kidding. Ainz literally genocided 2 nations, so...
The moment you meet your online friend from Thailand.
For those who don't get it, that is a guy. And all I gotta say is, looks female enough to me.
How introverts stick to the only person they know at a party.
Relatable. The kind of people that let you follow them around and introduce you to their friends are just simply the best. Because bro, I'm like a lost puppy whenever I'm at a party.
Ufoldables animation? Ufoldables logo design.
It's funny because most artists that I've ever seen are actually terrible at graphic design, and most graphic designers are terrible artists. Also, to be fair, the animators probably don't have time to make a better graphic design, because the only thing they have time for is trying to survive after spending a 22-hour shift animating Akaza's eyeball.
Manga, anime. Manga, anime. Manga, anime. Manga, anime.
Improvements. Also, don't lie to me, I know one of you dirty mofos licked the screen when Yubel's arm and Freyrin's foot popped up.
Crunchyroll getting rid of piracy sites?
The sale will never end. Also, remember where you came from, Crunchyroll.
The generational difference. 1990s? Get a university degree, get a 9-to-5 job, get promoted, get married at 21, buy a house at 25, 4 kids, 1 dog, retire at 60. 2026? Survive.
As someone who is 30, I got the lucky opportunity to watch this transition happen. Obviously not to the full extent, but I got to watch prices rise drastically as I got older. For example, I remember back when I was a teenager, I used to be able to go to a gas station and get a bag of chips for 99 cents. Snickers bars used to be 89 cents. I could get a full meal at McDonald's for $5. I used to get 4 McChickens and 2 apple pies for $5. Now, I'm pretty sure that's down to 2 McChickens and 2 apple pies. And I'm pretty sure you can't buy a single thing at a gas station for 89 cents. You know it all went south when Little Caesars Hot and Ready pizzas weren't $5 anymore. Or the fact that Subway $5 footlongs are now like $13.
Do whatever you want. Give me more sound effects, or I'll dox you. Flap.
So, for context, I personally don't know much about VTubers or who these people are, but based on what I was reading, the guy depicted in the meme is the creator of this AI VTuber. And literally last year, this AI VTuber tried to dox its creator. The AI used a search engine, I don't know if it was Google or what, but it used a search engine to try to find the creator's address, and it did find an address. It wasn't the correct one, but the AI did still read the address out loud on stream. And I can't help but feel like it's only a matter of time before this AI becomes smart enough to actually figure out his real address. And when it does, good luck to homie. Honestly, I don't even think it will really matter about being doxxed. I don't think anything bad would happen from him being doxxed, but I think what's more concerning, really, is the fact this AI sounds really toxic and would probably swat homie herself.
Flap demons! Who the HFIL taught the baby to swear?
I'm pretty confident this has something to do with Doom Guy.
The more complex a power system is, the funnier it gets when someone pulls out a gun.
What's your favorite example of this? Mine is Toji. In a world as overpowered as Jujutsu Kaisen is, including himself, it's really funny to see him pull out the Glock. Also makes you wonder why not that many other people do that, to be honest, in Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, I get that technically speaking it's Japan and they have very strict gun laws, but Toji figured it out. And unless you're someone like Gojo, Yuta, or Yuji, I can't help but feel like a gun would be pretty effective. Maybe not against cursed spirits, but if you have to fight other sorcerers, I feel like it would be pretty effective. Like, what's Megumi gonna do if you pull out the 9 on him? Actually, scratch that. He would just summon Maharaga on his dying breath, and the last thing we need is Maharaga adapting to the strap.
If you're happy, and you know it, clap your hands. Clap your... You think you're flapping funny.
I was reading the comments on this meme, and it's kind of disturbing how many of them were mainly just about clapping cheeks instead of hands. And even worse, I don't know which one of them's cheeks are clapping.
Name the American states by the following given abbreviations.
One, I'm pretty sure she aced it, and two, I can't decide whether the Ara Ara state should be Arkansas or Alabama.
Fellas, if your girl wears purple, has a yellow eye, and giant bazongas, then that's not your girl, that's Shockwave.
I guess there's more than meets the eye.
Nuns in movies, nuns in cartoons, nuns in anime.
You know, I'm atheist, but...
If you knew you were driving to your death, would you still drive fast? I paid for the whole speedometer, so I'm gonna use the whole speedometer.
Also paid for an airbag, too.
Fastest things in the universe. Sound, light, expansion of universe, relationship progression in H-anime.
True. In H-anime, they meet, date, Bible study each other, and get married all in the same 20-minute episode. Meanwhile, in a normal romance anime, it takes them 4 seasons and a movie to hold hands. 99% of the time during some sort of festival while watching fireworks.
Me, who wants him? Guy who thinks I'm out of his league.
The caption for this meme was, "Can somebody tell him to talk to me, please? Lady, guys are dumber than a box of doornails. We have no clue that you want us to talk to you. But I can promise you, if you, as the girl, make the first move, there is a 99.99% chance of it working out."
Saint Logan of House Paul has appeared.
First of all, while I do think it's funny that people just instinctively want to call him a celestial dragon, I think we all miss the opportunity to call him Logan Wapol. But either way, he sees himself as a rich spoonbait that thinks everybody is beneath him and can do whatever he wants without no consequences.
Mother's Basement calls out Logan Paul's promotion of manga grading as a scam. TLDW, Mother's Basement goes into the history of Logan Paul's entry into the Pokemon card grading sphere and how he's intentionally manipulated prices for his own profit there. And how he's trying to do the same thing with manga, except that manga lacks much objective measure by which to grade at all. He alleges that Paul's high-grade items, both cards and manga, have had their numbers fudged for both his own profit and the profit of the grading organizations, and points out evidence why.
And yeah, I both agree and disagree with Mother's Basement. Because while I do 100% agree that Logan is doing this just to make some money, what I don't agree with is the fact that Mother's Basement, and a lot of other people I've seen, Joey the Anime Man, also comment on this, is that they're mad because he entered the space just to make money. Which, to be fair, I honestly don't care about that. If you want to make money, then go ahead and make money. If someone wants to buy his overpriced manga, that's their prerogative. What I personally don't like, though, is him reading the first volume and then pretending like he is a One Piece fan. Like, if you want to be in it just for the profit, then say that. Don't pretend that you're a fan just because you think it's funny. Just admit you know absolutely nothing about the series and move on. Sure, you probably read that first volume and know a couple things, but at the end of the day, you call the main character Luffy D. Monkey. So, Logan, if you ever randomly see this for some reason, unless you're going to read the entire manga, all 1,000 plus chapters, you're never going to be accepted in the One Piece community. Or probably the anime community, for that matter.
If I said I was born in 2005? If I said I'm 21 years old?
Bro, that just made me feel exceedingly old. Holy hell, I am unk. Also, I read a comment on this meme that's going to make a lot of people watching this video feel even worse. 2045 is closer than 2005.
Hello there, Katsuki-kun. Your friends are waiting. Come on in.
How strange. There's nobody here.
And this is exactly why women live longer than men. Because as a man, even though I'm pretty positive there is danger, I'm still 100% going in anyway. A wise man once said, "My cucumber has led me places I wouldn't even go with a gun."
I want to flap you so bad, dude. She's probably just being Canadian.
Yeah, no, this is about the level of obliviousness that men have towards women. Ladies, I can promise you, we in fact cannot read your mind, and we in fact are stupid. Unless you blatantly tell us you like us, we will not get the hint. And just like this meme, even if you do tell us blatantly to our face you like us, we probably will just think you're joking. I remember back in middle school, I was riding the bus and there was this girl that was sitting across the aisle from me. I had never talked to her. She was cute, but I had never talked to her before, didn't know anything about her. And she turned to me randomly and said that I have really pretty eyes. I said, "Thanks," and then turned the other way. Obviously, looking back on it now as an adult, she probably was flirting with me and I have the IQ of a goldfish.
Americans, when someone threatens to call an ambulance. You there. Fetch me my leg.
Yeah, 100%, the ambulance bill is scarier than the injury. I already have the rule that if I'm ever in some sort of emergency like that, I'm calling an Uber. Or just staying home, because honestly, the emergency room probably isn't going to do much either. They're probably going to stick an IV in you and then tell you you're good to go. Also, want to hear something that's probably going to piss you off? I recently saw a video on Instagram that told me that the average cost of an emergency room visit in China is $70.
Time traveler hiccups. The timeline.
I can't decide which title to go with. Attack on Tea Time or Attack K on Titan?
Getting hit by isekai truck. The isekai I wanted. The isekai I got.
See, funnily enough, I actually feel like this is the case for anybody wanting to go to an anime world. You hear it all the time in the anime community that, they want to go to the One Piece world, or they want to go to Pokemon, or they want to go to Dragon Ball Z. But do you not realize how much of a nightmare it would be to go to any of those worlds? Most anime fans have some weird delusional thought that they are going to be respawned as the main character, when in reality you're probably just going to be NPC number 46. Sure, go to the One Piece world until Big Mom shows up on your island and wants to make her 187th kid. Or sure, go to the Pokemon world and then you walk out your front door to see a 5-foot tall bee. Sure, go to the Dragon Ball world until you get Gluck Gluck 9000 by Cell.
Everywhere I go, I see her cake.
I'm pretty positive her cake has more screen time than the rival class.
Anime studios use AI. Pirates watch anime for free. Paying customers.
See, I'm not defending piracy because I actually do pay for all of my subscriptions, but it is a bit annoying that you have to pay for multiple subscriptions just to watch the shows you want to watch because not all of them are on the same platform. Or even worse, they're just not on any platform. So some people just don't have any other choice but to pirate it because they can't watch it legally. I'm not saying we should all become straw hats. I'm just saying it would be nice to be able to stream the anime that we want without needing a VPN because it's region locked.
When you clean your room so good that the only trash left is you.
Relatable. Guess there's only one thing left to do.
When everyone is liking her IG story, but I'm sending her father gay reels saying, us.
All according to the Keikaku.
My boyfriend got incredibly sick, and I love it. I know the title makes me sound like a terrible person, but I swear it's not as bad as it sounds. Yesterday, my boyfriend came down with some kind of sickness. It's maybe the flu? We're not sure. He's been testing for COVID, but he's been negative so far, and it's apparently drained his energy. It hurts to breathe, he has chest pain, things like that. But because he feels like this, he just wants to lay in bed all day, which means he constantly wants to cuddle and lay with me. I love it so much. I especially like it because of how weak he is to the point that he constantly needs my help for something. I don't know if it makes me a bad person for this, but I just like him feeling like that because he's so cute when he's sleepy, which he constantly is, and his voice sounds so adorable when he's sick. I would never purposely try to make him sick, but I love it when it happens.
I can't decide whether this is wholesome or he needs a restraining order. I'm not gonna lie, I do think it is a bit concerning that she felt the need to mention that she would never purposefully make him sick. Yeah, a likely story, Yandere-chan. Next thing you know, she's making him pancakes with her DNA in it. What kind of DNA, I will leave up to your interpretation.
Oops, I dropped my eraser right in front of your desk for the 5th time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, men are pretty dumb. He probably just thinks that she's being clumsy for the 5th time. Even though it's about as obvious as an airport landing strip runway with a neon sign pointing at it.
The life cycle of being an adult. Need money? Get a job. Job destroys me. Spend money to feel alive. Need money? Get a job.
I personally have both been employed and unemployed. Out of the two, I recommend reverting back to childhood or being born into a rich family.
Everybody running in PE. Me after running for 0.001 second. Half my respiratory organs were destroyed.
Yeah, as someone who has a heart condition, I get winded standing up. So whenever I had to run for gym class, it felt like I got Detroit smashed in my windpipe and I was sweating more than Bakugo after having some Taco Bell.
Boruto fans don't even ask you to read the manga. They just look at you like this.
Incorrect. I don't know where this meme is getting its information from, but there are no Boruto fans. Not gonna lie, I actually do think Two Blue Vortex is pretty decent, but the original pre-time skip Boruto made me want to Primary Lotus myself.
You can't defeat me. I know, but he can.
See, this is exactly why they never had Pain meet Sakura, because as a medical ninja, all she had to do was throw some Tylenol at him and it would have been over.
A relationship is like a fart. If you force it, it's gonna be crap.
Wiser words have never been spoken, is what I'd like to say, but this meme is completely inaccurate. For the simple fact that Luffy does not know 4-syllable words.
Nobody would want Vegito if the fusion had turned out like this.
Incorrect. Bulma would want him. She would have a great time with Veggie-Rot.
Hot women in bikinis. Cute women in oversized hoodies.
I have a proposition. Cute woman in oversized hoodie with a bikini underneath.
Hantavirus. H-anime virus.
Yeah, I know I didn't say the actual word, so it doesn't rhyme, so it's not as funny. But this social media platform would banish me to the Shadow Realm if I actually did say the word, so I'm sorry. You get the point of the joke. Also, side note, what would the H anime virus actually do? Would it turn women into H anime girls? Like, are they just gonna wake up with triple Q sized bazongas? And the men who catch it just wake up with no eyes and the stamina of the most famous bald man?
Plot armor be like, I will win this fight. Nah, bro, this show is called Naruto, not Sasuke.
Sasuke was just trying to prevent Boruto, but no one listened.
POV, you're at a restaurant and someone tells everyone to stop eating to take a picture.
Nah, I think the worst scenario is the person who prevents everyone from starting to eat because they need to take a picture of all the food first.
Naruto, Bleach, Black Clover.
Which one did it better? Personally, I gotta give it to Black Clover. It's technically my least favorite out of the 3 shows, but I feel like it had, as the kids say, the most aura. Because with Naruto and Bleach, the situation was more calm the flap down. With Black Clover, it was more like flap around and find out you move 1 inch and I'm gonna shove this up your 5-leaf grimoire.
This is the prime of my life. I'm young, hot, and full of crippling debt.
Ah, a nice short summary of Konosuba and my life.
I love her, Mom. I love her, Mom.
Man, do I love Oyakudan. Someone left a comment saying, when the mom is just the daughter, but slightly taller and bigger bazongas. And someone replied saying, bro just described age and genetics. But that is false because anime moms defy the aging process and are forever stuck in their mid-20s.
My parents at 27? Let's get married. Me at 27? She can ruin me.
The let's get married generation versus the I can fix her generation.
Congrats, you got the job. You can start on Monday. One, but at what cost?
Good news, you now have a stable income so you won't starve to death. Bad news, you have no free will anymore. But hey, congratulations, you have money now. What, you want time off to go spend that money? F you, get back to work.
Geologists packing their stuff after getting fired.
Man, those look like some pretty heavy rocks. She must have a really strong lower back.
If you're happy, and you know it, clap your hands. Clap your... You think you're flapping funny.
I was reading the comments on this meme, and it's kind of disturbing how many of them were mainly just about clapping cheeks instead of hands. And even worse, I don't know which one of them's cheeks are clapping.
Name the American states by the following given abbreviations.
One, I'm pretty sure she aced it, and 2, I can't decide whether the Ara state should be Arkansas or Alabama.
Fellas, if your girl wears purple, has a yellow eye, and giant bazongas, then that's not your girl, that's Shockwave.
I guess there's more than meets the eye.
Nuns in movies, nuns in cartoons, nuns in anime.
You know, I'm atheist, but...
If you knew you were driving to your death, would you still drive fast? I paid for the whole speedometer, so I'm gonna use the whole speedometer.
Also paid for an airbag, too.
Fastest things in the universe. Sound, light, expansion of universe, relationship progression in H anime.
True. In H anime, they meet, date, Bible study each other, and get married all in the same 20-minute episode. Meanwhile, in a normal romance anime, it takes them 4 seasons and a movie to hold hands. 99% of the time during some sort of festival while watching fireworks.
Me, who wants him? Guy who thinks I'm out of his league.
The caption for this meme was, "Can somebody tell him to talk to me, please? Lady, guys are dumber than a box of doornails. We have no clue that you want us to talk to you. But I can promise you, if you, as the girl, make the first move, there is a 99.99% chance of it working out."
So someone was trying to watch the 100 girlfriends who really love you, and this popped up on his screen.
See, whoever sent this message actually has it twisted because, now personally I've never watched 100 Girlfriends, I have heard that it's actually really good though, and pretty wholesome. So I feel like most people don't actually have a problem with this show. Rent a Girlfriend, on the other hand.
I need money, MFers, when they get the option to leave work early.
Absolutely. As much as I like money, that overtime pay stands no chance against my couch, sweatpants, and a Little Caesars pizza.
Ventia banning all H-anime content due to American and Australian payment processors' pressure.
Shimoneta was actually a warning about the future.
Guess who the main character is?
See, this is actually difficult because I feel like innately, if you didn't know the show, you would automatically think it's the spiky-haired blonde kid. And if that wasn't correct, then it was either the green-haired kid or the chick with the orange hair. But joke's on you, it's the kid with the flapping bowl cut. It legitimately didn't dawn on me until just now, looking at it side by side, that these two shows are extremely similar.
I love older women. Anime girls who look nothing like older women.
Bro, age in anime is practically non-existent. I was gonna say specifically towards the female characters, but honestly it applies to the male characters too. It basically applies to any character that isn't a grandma, and even then it still has exceptions. I always stand by the fact that a character's age in anime should be based on the fact of how they are drawn, not by the random age you just stamp on them and say this character is that age. That's not how it works. Because like this meme is talking about, they'll have a character that will be 47 or even more. They'll be like 786 years old, but they'll look like they're in the 3rd grade. Meanwhile, on the other side of the spectrum, you'll have a character that has triple G devil fruits, and then the character is like 12. They very easily could say that this character is 26 and no one would bat an eye, but no, they need to be 12 for plot? I don't know. Just like the character that looks like they're about to learn the color purple, you could very easily say that, yeah, they are in fact 8 years old, but no, because the author wants to put them in not-so-family-friendly situations, that the character is a 460-year-old vampire, so it's okay. At this point, the only way you can really actually tell that a character is quote-unquote older is whether or not they're drinking a beer or having a cigarette.
Me, remembering that summer camp girl who I'll never meet again in real life.
See, I wish I had fond memories of summer camp like some of y'all, but all I have is disdain for it. You see, when I went, me being the weeb that I am, you know, I had zero interest in actually going to summer camp. I was just sent there because, you know, my mom sent me there for work. I had no idea. I hated it. So to entertain myself, I would bring my Game Boy along with me. And all I remember is being extremely pissed off because I was in the middle of playing Pokemon Crystal, and the camp counselor forced me to turn it off while I was in the middle of a gym battle. And I had not saved in about 2 hours. And the reason they wanted me to turn it off was because they wanted me to play soccer. And again, nothing against playing soccer, that's perfectly fine, but there was no reason for the counselor to be an a-hole. I literally asked multiple times, just give me like 10 minutes so I can finish the gym battle so I can save, but no, they did not let me. And obviously this was about 20 years ago now, so they gotta be probably somewhere in like their mid-50s at this point. No idea where they are, but F you, you glorified babysitter.
Never put phone and money in the same pocket.
Seems as though you never learned the saying, never put all your eggs in one basket, huh? See, in your left pocket, you put your wallet, your keys, a pack of gum, a Hot Wheels car, Denmark, the entire country, a Beyblade, and an Egyptian god card. And then in your right pocket, your phone.
Ancient statue? Modern statue.
First of all, humanity hasn't changed. Secondly, fun fact, did you know that ancient statues actually were painted? Originally, they were actually bright colors, but were just degraded by weather and, you know, time. And this might be a bold take, but personally speaking, if you look it up, the original paint on the Greek statues looks terrible. They honestly look like cheap knockoff versions of the worn down versions that someone's just gonna sell on Temu.
Me, waking up for my 0-hour shift of unemployment.
A wise man once said, life is stressful when you have a job, and life is stressful when you don't have a job.
I've seen this raw strength only once before.
I'm not gonna hold you, I have absolutely no idea who that first character is, but that smile, for some reason on her, is disturbing, and I would like to file a restraining order. Apparently, she's from a show called I Became Friends with the Second Prettiest Girl in My Class, and all I gotta say is, if that character is the second prettiest girl, then the first one has gotta be the Smiling Titan from AOT. And I'm pretty sure both of them are going to try and eat me, and not in a good way.
I only offer safe-for-work services.
I'm gonna make a bold statement here, you know, just want to play devil's advocate, but aren't, like, most people who have credit cards over the age of 18?
Female personality compass. Goth. Gyaru. Jedi? Loser.
Excuse me, you are forgetting one. Where is Tomboy? Arguably the best one, you uncultured buffoon?
To be called inconsistent, you have to be consistently inconsistent, making you consistent. Me explaining to bro why it's okay for me to be up at 3 a.m., but it's not okay for him to do it.
An accurate depiction of me speaking to my 2-year-old.
POV after seeing My Hero Academia winning Anime of the Year.
Does it deserve it? Probably. Does it prove that Anime of the Year almost always is going to be a shonen? Yes. I considered making a disclaimer about what the joke of this meme is about, but I'm pretty confident we all know what this is explaining.
4 stages of an exam. 1. You see the paper and realize you should have slept last night. 2. You try to remember something you've never learned. 3. You remember one word and suddenly unlock the whole answer. 4. Going home, realizing that you are cooked, but at least the stress is over.
See, there are 2 routes you can go down. You either A, don't study anything for the entire week and then chug 16 Red Bulls and cram everything in the night before, only to remember about 70% of what you learned and then barely get a C, but hey, at least it's passing. Or B, you just hope that it's multiple choice and then choose the letter B for the entire test and pray for the best.
When you open the book and someone else already underlined the answers.
I've had this happen before. They were wrong.